Look at this, all completely frozen. I had a plan actually to do a different like opening to the video, but I brought my drone with me and we've got to get some B-roll of this. Let's roll it. I'm currently on the ice. Oh, luckily, it isn't deep whatsoever. Underneath me is just grass. But whilst I'm on the ice, let me introduce today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you photography mistakes that I wish I avoided when starting out. So I think we can all agree, when starting photography, our first photographs or the first time I pick up a camera, our work is bad. Mine was exceptionally horrific. It was goddamn awful, and if you actually scroll far enough down my Instagram page, which might take a while and I recommend you don't do it, you will see some really bad images. And that's because it took me a little bit longer to get used to all the fundamentals of photography and everything like that, and I made mistakes that were a real hindrance to actually making any progression. And hopefully from sharing the mistakes that I made when first starting out doing photography, you can avoid these yourself and make even better progress than I did when starting out. Also, at the end of today's video, I will be looking at a few of your photographs using the hashtag CPPhotos. If you're not using the hashtag over on Instagram, make sure you do. Your work might be featured at the end of one of my videos, and I often look through it myself to see what you guys are creating as well. But while that's said and done, let's begin with mistake number 1. The first mistake I made when starting out doing photography, and I think it was the biggest mistake I could have made, and that was not shooting in manual mode. For a long time, I spent it in auto modes and programmed auto, and ventured ever so slightly sometimes into aperture and shutter priority modes. As a result, the camera was doing all the thinking for me, and I wasn't able to get as good as images as I possibly could have got if I was the one taking control of those settings. So if you are just starting out, maybe shoot with the aperture and the shutter speed priorities and everything like that for a few weeks, but make sure you jump into manual mode early so you can really grab a good sense of how to use those settings efficiently. Photography tip number 2 is not shooting RAW. For the longest time possible, I was shooting JPEG because I didn't really understand the full benefits of shooting RAW and what that could do with my image after I edited it. Also, at the same time, I never realized that I wasn't getting the full capabilities out of the camera. When I use a camera, I want to make sure that I'm getting everything I paid for. So when shooting RAW, you get the best range and the best flexibility and everything possibly the camera can do at its best. Well, that's what I think anyway. And that kind of waves me into photography mistake number 3, and that is editing my photographs. For the longest time possible, I wasn't editing my photographs, and I feel like I was missing out on a whole different world and a whole different part of photography. And I absolutely love editing photographs. It's a lot of fun to put a different look onto the visuals and make it just pop and stand out. I would like you to take a look at this image right here. This is a before image of the recent floods in York. This is the after photograph. From that, I've been able to use some paint tools, I've been able to use a gradient mask tool, I've been able to apply different changes of shadows, the highlights, the colors to make that image completely stand out and make that golden hour shot really pop with the nice oranges and warm glow. And something you often learn when doing photography is how to shoot for editing. I'm always able to either underexpose, overexpose, and know the camera's limits and everything like that on how I can manipulate the image afterwards in post, if that makes some sense. Now, I do get a lot of people asking me what editing software I'm actually using. I'm using Adobe Lightroom, and it's the software I've always been using to edit my photographs. There is some free software out there, but I don't know how it works. I've never tried it myself. So all I can really recommend is Adobe Lightroom because it only costs like £10 a month. So if you're doing this as a full-time hobby or maybe looking at taking it professional in the future, it might be a really good investment just to pay for that every month so you get the complete package. Photography mistake number 4 was being obsessed over the equipment. I used to obsess about equipment all the time. I still kind of do because I just like tech. But at the time when I was doing photography, I didn't need or shouldn't have been wanting new equipment until I perfected the equipment I already had. Oh, that was actually said really nicely. Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, just don't obsess over equipment. It will all come eventually when you're starting out doing photography. You just need a standard kit lens, maybe a prime, maybe a telephoto if you're pushing it. Those 3 lenses are a good starting net to photography, and what you really need to refine first is your skill using that equipment. So then when you start being able to perfect using standard gear, when you get really good gear, you should be able to really excel at it. Photography mistake number 5 was not shooting in different light. For a long time I was shooting in harsh sunlight, and I never really experimented using cloudy days or shooting in the rain or golden hours or anything like that. Primarily with the golden hours, either I didn't wake up or we didn't get them because we're in the north and we hardly ever get good sunsets, but I kind of went off point. Try and shoot in a variety of different lighting conditions because it can completely change how a place looks. Take a look at these 2 photographs of the shambles. One of them was shot today, the day of filming this. The other one was shot in a cloudy day where there'd been some rain. Straight away, which one do you prefer? The one with the cloudy days, because it just looks softer, it's more inviting, and everything about the image just stands out a lot more. So light can completely manipulate your images, so make sure you shoot in different conditions to get different results. Photography mistake number 6 is being prepared for spontaneity. So I've got a bit of a story for you. Last year, I was going to a nature reserve and I did 28 miles of cycling and 10 miles of walking, so nearly 40 miles of travel. And on the day of capturing the photos in the nature reserve, I wasn't happy with any of them. I thought all of them absolutely sucked. And on the way back, I was tired, I was a bit annoyed that I didn't get any good photographs. But on the way back, there was this perfect pink sky emerging with a lonely tree in this farmer's field, and I was just cycling. Look at this photograph developing to get better and better and better every time I changed my perspective by cycling forward. And the stars started to come out, and I was like, that would make for a fantastic photograph. But I didn't take the photograph. I kept on cycling because I thought I couldn't be bothered. So if you're ever in that situation where you are like, I'll leave it, I can't be bothered, go and do it, because you might regret it and you might miss an absolute banger of a photograph. I knew that that photograph would have been something special, and I just kept on cycling. So don't do that, just make sure you go and capture that photograph and seize the moment. And that's all the tips I've got to share with you, but before we end today's video, we're going to have a little look through the hashtag of CP photos. So let's start from the top, and our first photographs today are by Millie Photography. Really cool effects right here, really cool shots using this food dye. This is such a simple thing anybody can do at home, and you don't need expensive gear or anything like that. Great work, thank you for using the hashtag. I love this one. Travel, Geography, Life. I absolutely love this photograph with the footprint in the snow. Really nice composition, almost suggests like a journey forward or something like that. That is a really nice composition. And I'm jealous how much snow they got down south. Leeds is only 20 miles from me, and I couldn't go there obviously because of all the lockdowns, and their snow looks incredible. And in York, we got a pitiful amount. It's dreadful. So our next photograph today is by TB Photography. I love this action shot. This is awesome, and that color grade on it as well. That is exceptional. Brilliant work, buddy, right there. Absolutely love that shot. Let's have a look at a few more today. So our next one is by, which one should I choose? There's so many good ones to choose from. I like that. I like that with the silhouettes. That's a really cool shot as well. That's fantastic. Absolutely love that. Beautiful sky as well. Oh, this is a really good shot. Christian Binder. This is a really creative idea. I've never seen this been done before. Pencils being made in the shape of like a zipper. That is a really cool and creative idea. That is brilliant. Awesome creativity right there. But that is an exceptional shot. That is brilliant. The sharpness, the sky, everything just blends together perfectly, and the symmetry as well. I love me a good amount of symmetry in a photograph. Brilliant work right there, mate. So that's all the images we're going to be looking at in today's video. There are so many incredible photographs on that hashtag. Honestly, it blows me away. So yeah, I really appreciate everyone using the hashtag, and if you're not using it over on Instagram, make sure you do. Your work might be featured at the end of one of my videos. And speaking of which, that is where I'm going to be leaving today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and hopefully these tips have been helpful to you if you are just starting out in photography. If you avoid the mistakes I made when I was starting photography, photography, you'll be well on your way to making some absolutely incredible work. But I'm not going to hold you up anymore today. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and until next time everyone, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!